and a guide. So let's talk MTG and take the ride. Take the ride. For more fun, you better subscribe. You never want to miss the vibe. Keeping us up all night. fun, you better subscribe. You never want to miss the vibe.
Always doing it sunny side up. It's the hen. Fuck. What up, my friends? How you doing? How are you doing today? I have picked a different subject than usual. I know we talk about Magic a lot, so I thought we'd talk about some Warhammer 40K action, specifically the Plague Marines, because, Warhammer has some dope lore, you know? So that's what's going down today. Let me grab the live stream link. We'll share that in the Discord, and we'll go from there. All right. There we go. That's good. That is good. Cause man, I did a video today talking about the new Groot Secret Lair stuff and that Magic the Gathering, all of that, and I decided, you know what? A lot of time is spent talking about Magic, and a lot of time is spent talking about the negative stuff that's going on. So I just didn't feel like getting into it today, you know? I was just like, I want to talk about something that feels more chill, and if there's problems with Warhammer, it's not something I'm paying attention to, and if they're doing crazy new stuff, I don't know about any of it. I'm just reading random old school lore and about the units and stuff, and there's a bunch of cool stuff going on. So, let's do our hellos. What up, Jess, Zircon, Rays, Teferi, Jojo, Yamagoro, Mountain Jam, Rain, Gerthulu, Sum, Joe, Eng, Jugglum, Hex. Let's see here. That's all the hellos. All right. We have sufficiently helloed everybody. You were secretly hoping I was going to show a Groot and Luke card. That would be pretty ridiculous. Rain, you heard Hatcher listens to you to go to sleep. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although that ultimately makes you sound boring, though, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Gertrude, if they're positives in Magic, I would talk about them. Time for some 40K. Well, you know what? Yesterday's live stream was me talking about, I had positive things to say about Foundations, and then I did the Groot Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel layer talk. So ultimately, that's two positive things about Magic in a row. And then when it came time for the live stream, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to pick something different. And I was literally reading over some of the stuff about Plague Marines. I find the lore for Warhammer 40K has a lot going on, right? All of the different Space Marine chapters with their different leaders, and ultimately, the downfall of Mortarion and what he was supposed to be is actually pretty wild. You know, Mortarion, who leads the Plague Marines or whatever, he was trying to be essentially a stand-up dude, and then he gets corrupted to the service of one of the Chaos Gods. So it's pretty wild. When I used to have a number of Warhammer figures, the Plague Marines were the army that I was going to assemble and paint and all that, but the miniatures just sat around forever, and then I ended up selling them off because I needed money. So that's that. But for Warhammer 40K, it was going to be Plague Marines, and for Warhammer Fantasy, it was going to be Idenith Deepkin, because I think that they're both pretty funky groups, man. Yamagoro, Plague Marines are disturbingly intriguing. That's a great way to put it. What's a Plague Marine? Okay, so First of all, if you don't know anything about Warhammer 40K, you need to know what Space Marines are. So they're like super genetic modified mega soldiers that have like extra organs embedded in their bodies and stuff. Not everybody can be a Space Marine, right? It takes a rugged individual who has their body put through all these different rigors, and so they're like super genetically enhanced ultra soldiers. But the Plague Marines are like the regular Space Marines are in service of the Empire of Man. The Emperor of Mankind has these dudes to push back the stem of Xenos scum, the aliens, get them out of here, but more importantly, to stop the Chaos Gods. So the Plague Marines are Space Marines that have been corrupted into the service of one of the 4 Chaos Gods. And they are just horrific, bro. Their bodies are just bloated, disgusting, corrupted vessels that are filled with some of the worst toxins and poisons, diseases, plagues, viruses known to man, right? This is... Warhammer 40K doesn't have magic per se. It has like psychic powers and stuff like that, but they're like the equivalent of basically like magically induced into being crazy plague bearers, and their bodies are just bloated, disgusting nonsense that warp and heave at their power armor, trying to expand out of it. They're similar in some ways to zombies in terms of their bodies are all putrid and gross, and they literally have maggots growing in them that turn into like swarms of flies that fly around infesting everybody with disease. It's crazy. It's crazy. Millmaster, your wife said Hatcher opened a 41K? 401k in Canada, they're called RRSPs. We don't have 401ks. We have RRSPs. Just the Fallout Game Makers funded a YouTuber to help make power armor for his channel. That's got nothing to do with Warhammer, but that's actually pretty cool. So basically, the Space Marines that become the Plague Marines, each Space Marine house, or chapter I should say, is based on the genetic templating of the primarch, however it's pronounced. Essentially, the leader of that particular chapter. So the Emperor of Mankind knew that he needed to have very powerful troops to stem the tide of chaos. The Chaos Gods live in the warp, and they just kind of want to destroy and ruin everything. So the Emperor wants to stop the Chaos Gods, and in a very foolish moment, he actually consulted with the Chaos Gods for arcane knowledge that he would need to make his special ultra troops. So he made 20 special ultra primarch troops that basically were spirited away when they were babies. Not like the Emperor had kind of chaos proofed his own stronghold, but because he literally used the ruinous powers of the Chaos Gods in the creation of the primarchs, the Chaos Gods were able to spirit them away. So all 20 of these ultra super soldier dudes end up getting thrown through the universe into different locations. And so the dude who would become the leader of the Plague Marines, he was thrown onto this planet called Barbarous. And Barbarous is a super toxic world. There's all these crazy poison clouds. The atmosphere itself could just take you down, no problem. And there's basically 2 groups of people there. You have these necro lords that take the corpses of people and do whatever they want with them. And then you have regular everyday people who are basically almost used like cattle. You know what I mean? So they're kept hemmed in by the fact that you got to stay in this lowland because you go up here and it's way more poisonous and all that. So they find Mortarion when he's like a little baby. They find him when he's a baby, and they take him to one of these... Oh no, what happens? They find him when he was a baby, and he's out in like a poison cloud or whatever. Like he's literally out where any regular baby would just die. So this crew finds him when he's out there in these poisonous vapors or whatever, and they take the most powerful necrolord on the world. They might not be called necrolords, but whatever. He ends up taking Mortarion as his like adopted son and heir, basically raising him up. And the Necrolords are cruel. They don't give a shit about people. They just use them however they want. But through whatever circumstances, Mortarion learns of the plight of the regular humans and realizes that he is actually like these regular humans. Yeah, he's a superhuman, but he is kin to these humans. So he sets out to try and help the humans that are under this yoke of savagery. And he goes from like village to village, basically kind of welding them together into an overall like network. And he finds the hardiest people among them, and he starts to take them out into the poison fields. And so they start to build up this resistance to the poisons and all of this. And he basically creates like his own little mini army. And he starts taking these troops out and building up their resistance so that they can try and take down the Necrolords, which they have some level of success with, right? He's taken down these Necrolords, and then the Emperor of Mankind is out in the universe searching for all of his missing children. Millmaster, that's the Chaos version. Yeah, exactly. One of the guys you work with said he likes to paint the figures, says he doesn't play, just finds it relaxing. The models are super cool, bro. They're genuinely like very like intricate with all their details and stuff. The flavor of Warhammer 40K is legit. There's a reason that I was collecting the models. It's got a great vibe to it. Hex, is Space Marine have something to do with Space Hulk? Yeah, Space Hulks are like in the Warhammer universe. They're they're basically like think of like an old abandoned ghost ship. A Space Hulk is kind of similar to that, except instead of ghosts, it has like crazy monsters in it and stuff, and it's just drifting through space. And they'll try and salvage them because they can have interesting ancient technology or other valuable resources, but then there's dangers on them as well. So Mortarion, the Emperor ends up finding Barbarous where Mortarion is, and is like, yo, I created you. You have to come with me. I have need of you. And Mortarion's all like, eat my fucking taint, dickhead. I'm going to take down the Necrolords. I'm going to take down the dude who was my adoptive father, who is the worst, most powerful Necrolord. And the Emperor was all like, okay, here's the deal. I'll leave you alone if you can take out the Necrolord by yourself. But if you can't, then you got to come with me. So Mortarion tries to take out the Necrolord, but ultimately the toxins that are surrounding the layer of the top Necrolord are too powerful for him. So he ends up like collapsing at the gate, and then the Emperor shows up and is like, "What's up, bitch?" And he takes down the Necrolord like it's nothing. And he takes Mortarion off, and he's like, "All right, come with me, buddy. I'm going to put you at the head of a whole chapter of Space Marines like you were supposed to be. They're built out of your own genes, all that kind of stuff," right? So, yeah, it gets crazy from there. Hey, what up, Sheldon? How you doing? I'm doing good, buddy. It's been a productive day. It has been a productive day. Dragon, you like the Tau? I haven't learned enough about the Tau to be excited by them yet. I don't know like a ton about the different factions of Warhammer 40K. I know like a drop in the bucket in terms of Warhammer 40K because they have crazy amounts of lore, but it's genuinely interesting, compelling stuff, right? Just the 20 primarchs or whatever are super interesting. Maybe not all of them. Some of them might not be as exciting, but Mortarion's story is pretty wild. So he ends up at the head of the Death Guard, right? And the Death Guard is his personal Space Marine chapter. And they're really hardy dudes because Mortarion is really hardy and they're built out of his gene stock. So they end up basically getting tricked. They end up getting tricked by Chaos and they get trapped in the warp, right? And the warp is like the space outside of space. It's the layer of the chaos gods. It's where they exist. So it's like other space. It's like the void. Whatever, however you want to refer to it. So Mortarion and his space marines get trapped out in the warp, and they are infected with this insane plague, and they can't die. They're just like essentially in infinite agony, endless agony. And they resist it for so long because of how hardy they are, right? Like they resist for a super long time. But then the pain breaks Mortarion, and he swears himself and all the plague marines, or the space marines under him, to the service of Nurgle. At which point, like, he begins his path to becoming a Daemon Prince, and all of his troops get turned into plague marines. So they literally, like, their armor, their flesh oozes necrotic slime that eats through their armor. Just being around them, they're full of rot. Like, it's all just rust, decay, destruction. They're absolutely mega gross, right? But also super unstoppable. And I was reading, like, some of the stuff they do is wild, man. They will take the heads of fallen foes, right? And they will seal them up with like bile and blood and stuff, and make this like waxy surface that makes the entire head like watertight, and they'll fill the head with pus. And then that pus, well, they basically leave it like you would leave wine to mature, right? And then it turns into this poisonous gas. So when they whip the heads, these ripe heads explode, and they release this deadly acidic gas that can eat through skin, bone, even like straight up armor, just chews through it. It's so wild. And they have something called like Nurgle's Rot, which is a plague that it's like Nurgle. Nurgle is the chaos god of disease, corruption, putrefaction. His symbol is a fly to spread the disease, right? So Nurgle's Rot is the blessing that he gives to his chosen ones. So the plague marines are constantly rotting and full with all these different diseases, but they're also granted immunity to pain. So they feel none of it. So they just go around and spread all this corruption. It's wild. Jess, yeah, it's really fucked up. It sure is. Shelton, are we almost done with the next movie review video? I wouldn't say almost. Carly came in to tell me about it, and I think we're maybe like midway in the process. Midway? I think. I'm not 100% because she's the one doing the editing, but she's gone through the first, chopping and putting it together, and she's got a bunch of little indicators in there letting her know. She's got to get the different footage that she wants to insert, so I don't have a particular release date for it. I don't know when it's going to be done, bro. I don't know when it's going to be done. Juglum Burgle. Burgle makes that ass suffer. A typo. I'm Burgle. Oh, what do you do? I don't know. You know those things that stick into your clothes when you walk through nature? I make that happen. Oh, those are a bitch, man. Sometimes they scratch my legs. Ha ha, my curse. But yeah, man. The idea of like these ultimate, what are supposed to be the ultimate paragons and champions for mankind being corrupted into the service of the Chaos Gods is absolutely wild. A number of Space Marine chapters that are supposed to be in service to the Empire end up defecting over to the side of Chaos for different reasons. And there's some pretty interesting stories, you know? Obviously, I like high fantasy better than I like sci-fi, but Warhammer 40K lore goes deep. Like, you can go right down a rabbit hole where there's more and more and more and more and more. It's actually pretty satisfying that you can just keep finding more stuff to talk about and enjoy, you know? It doesn't quickly peter out and feel shallow, not shadow. Hey, Kensuke, with the cool guy with the cool guy sunglasses. Thanks for the super sticker. You are Lord of the Board, and apparently that is your 20th super chat according to YouTube. So, congratulations on 20, boy. What up, Nathan? What up, every day? Where is the board marker? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, here it is. So yeah, I guess, because Magic the Gathering's lore has been getting more and more shallow, I'm having to turn my attention to other things to find deeper stories to appreciate, There we go. That's better. That's better. Nathan's membership message says, Evening Hatcher, 3 is a magic number. Is it a Warhammer number? I don't know. Dragon Slanesh is the R-rated Chaos God. Slanesh, I find Slanesh is responsible for the creation of the Idenith Deepkin by swallowing all of the elven souls. And then the elven gods find Slanesh and extract some of those souls out. And some of the elves that were created that way turn into the Deepkin, who have corrupted spirits. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, Nathan, $3 super chat. Just cuz. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. It is a magic number. Do I like the toxic dudes? Are they my favorite? Juglum, at this time, I find the Plague Marines to be the most compelling of all of the Space Marine chapters. But I do have to go on record that is not a situation where I know as much about all the other chapters and are choosing them based on giving them all equal weight and fair consideration. Do you know what I mean? So I think the Plague Marines are the coolest, but I've also read more about the Plague Marines than any other chapter. There's some other ones that have weird corrupted blood and stuff. There's some funky concepts. Nathan, hey, gifting 5 memberships. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Didn't feel like buying 3 memberships one at a time. Only the first 3 count tonight. Okay. Jojo and Sam, your memberships don't count, according to Nathan. All right, Nathan, you are the double lord. Lord of the Board and the member lord. Thanks, brother. Oops. I almost didn't do this properly. Whoop, whoop. All right. How is Warhammer played? I have to admit that I like Warhammer lore, and I like the miniatures and stuff like that, but I don't like the gameplay concepts. You put the miniatures on the board, and then you have to measure, these guys can move 6 inches, and you got to squint down and look for line of sight and all that. And I don't know, maybe if I tried it again now, I might enjoy it. But when I was younger, I was too impatient for stuff like that. I tried playing Man of War, and I got bored with it. Having to spend all that time fiddling and moving your miniatures. I feel like if I played Magic the Gathering and I had to measure how far, this is how far a dragon can go, and then I have to measure and move each thing. It's just like a game of Warhammer can take 4 hours and be 6 turns, bro. So I don't know if I like all the fiddly bits of actually playing the game, but I do like the models a lot, and sometimes I wish that I still had the ones that I did. Oh, some says, no thanks. No thanks, Nathan. You said he doesn't count, so he's not thanking you, but at least every day is thanking you because he was number 1. Lamenters are your favorite Space Marine chapter, the most unlucky bunch of good guys? Really? More unlucky than what happened to the Death Guard? Really? Jess, is it similar to Necromunda? Yes. Necromunda's also made by the same company. And I remember playing Necromunda back in the day, where you've got your little gangs and stuff, and you've got the they're fighting in the city. Bah, 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 we're gonna shoot you, and I'm gonna steal one of the guys from your crew and then ransom him back to you. I played Necromunda. So actually, when they redid Necromunda, I had Necromunda. I had a whole bunch of Warhammer and Necromunda stuff because I'd be like, all fucking cards on the table, boys. I'd be baked at the game store staring at the models and I go, these are really cool. And then I would acquire the models. And then I built up a collection of models and never assembled them. Never got around to assembling or painting most of them. And then things got really bad and we were in dire straits. So I sold off the models because it was just like, okay, I need money. I wish I had kept the money instead of these models in some ways. But when you spend a lot of time being high, you don't make the best fucking choices. You don't make the best financial decisions. So there's a part of me that wishes I had kept some of that stuff. The Idenith Deepkin, the Plague Marines, the Blood Bowl stuff, a bunch of stuff that I got, I don't miss nearly as much. But there's particular things, absolutely. Jojo, you want to make some 3D printer orc units? Oh yeah, you can like 3D print versions of these, can't you? I've never really seen a 3D printer in action. I always thought it'd be cool to have one and print out your own miniatures. And like, I see some of the game stores in the area now are offering a service where you can go in and they'll print out miniatures for you and stuff. But yeah, 3D printer actually seems really cool. I put one on my wish list, I think like almost a year ago. And then I guess promptly forgot about it because I don't think about it that much. But every once in a while, I have the compulsion to like paint some fucking miniatures because it's satisfying. And in the past, I have actually made like full-on setups. Like one year for Father's Day, when I still had all these models, I painted up the two-headed griffin from Warhammer Fantasy that has the warlock on his back. I painted that griffin up and I had it like, I built a fort that the elves were living in, basically. And so I took a bunch of these wooden poles, these little wooden poles that I got from the dollar store, and I sharpened the tops of them so they would be like stakes. And then I broke a number of them in half, and I had an area where you could see that the griffin had burst through the wall of the fort, and there were elves under all these different trees. I got trees from a hobby shop. Where like from a train, like where they sell them for like train kits and stuff, right? Where you make your own trees. So I had all these trees, a whole bunch of grassy area with a mud path running through it. The griffin had busted into the fort and there was elves in different places with their bows pointing at them ready to fight the griffin. And the griffin literally had like a bloody talons. Its one claw was upraised. It had bloody talons and there was an elf that had been ripped to pieces, laying in a bloody pile under its claw. I made that for my dad for Father's Day. It was like, I did it on a cutting board that was like, it was like a bamboo cutting board, and one of the pieces on the edge had broken off, but it was like a rectangular piece like this. So I was actually able to rotate it and slot it in, and it was like a plaque kind of thing that I put Happy Father's Day on it. My dad actually put it out on display. Like, he used to put together those big wooden ships with all the rigging and all that stuff. And yeah, man, like honestly, putting together an actual scenario with the models, painting all the details and stuff, it's genuinely satisfying. It's genuinely satisfying. I really like it. Juglum units can mean either individual figures or it can mean like a number of guys together. Like a unit of Space Marines could be like 10 or 20 dudes, but you could have like one gigantic Tyranid that counts as a unit, you know? Mailmaster, you had a good time with the new Rogue Trader RPG and that 40K Diablo game too? I am going to try that at some point. Absolutely. Jojo, miniatures are cheap as fuck when you print them. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Limelight, how did the Grand Archive event, did I end up going? Was it enjoyable? I did end up going, and I did enjoy myself. It's funny that you bring that up because I spent a fair bit of time previously getting all of the footage like converted, because I can't use the footage straight off my phone or straight off my GoPro without converting it first. So I have all of the footage converted, and I actually I got in front of the camera today and started to record. It's like a vlog covering the whole event, so I don't have much experience with that. So I just had to get in front of the camera, start talking about different elements, and then I'm going to like weave it all together. So that video will come out on the Hatcher channel, and then I will have a video coming out on the Historian with a title along the lines of why is MTG losing players to games like Grand Archive, where I use Grand Archive as a case study of smaller games that are basically taking Magic players away from Magic. So there's going to be 2 Grand Archive videos, one covering the Ascent, and then one talking about why people are choosing to play that over Magic the Gathering. But I had a great time, both like playing in the actual event, meeting the people there, and then the other stuff I did over the course of the weekend. It was a very eventful weekend, and it left me exhausted because, well, as a middle-aged dude, I don't have the same level of energy, and my body, this shit takes a toll on my body faster. Jess, you should get Necromunda stuff someday. Necromunda is great because you can just play it with 2 people. You know what I mean? I mean, you can play Warhammer with 2 people as well. Nathan, was yesterday pre-release? Yes, it was. The previous stream up on the pre-release report was uploaded to this channel and came out earlier today. So you can watch that later if you want to. If you want to know the highlights, ultimately, MTG Foundations has the classic Magic feel. It feels like a core set should. It's got a great vibe. And I got the big fat Eldrazi, the 7/7 fat boy Eldrazi, and I really wanted to put a swift foot boots on it and go bam. And I got to use the crazy demon. What the hell's it called? Is it Harvester of Souls? Abyssal Harvester. I got to use this guy, and my buddy, who's actually very good at Magic, totally misunderstood how he worked, so he pitched the 5/4 flying demon into his graveyard. When I played a discard spell him, he pitched a 5/4 flying demon that says, you gain 2 life and draw a card, and your opponent loses 2 life when it comes out. You have to sack a creature when you're casting it, but I wasn't casting it. I just got to put it straight into play. And he was just like, what? Oh, he was lamenting it. After that point, he lamented it for the whole match. He's like, I can't believe I did that. And I'm like, ah! And I got to use it to bring back he had a Reclamation Sage. I smoke his Reclamation Sage, bring it back to the Harvester, and smash that enchantment that makes raccoons. Like, bro, I had a good time. Didn't have any bad times. It didn't have any bad times. It was all good times. It was all good times. Yeah, Magor and Wizards dropped all the junk premium sets on us after call time. You drastically reduced your Magic purchases and got into 40K. 40K is solid. 40K is solid. The Plague Marines are awesome. Tyranids are fucking wild. The concepts and lore, Tyranids are terrifying. It's insane. It's insane. Nathan, you'll go check it out now? Or are you saying you'll check it out later? Or are you saying later as in goodbye? It can be interpreted either way. Yeah, Magar, you have a lot of Imperial Guard, a little bit of Space Marines, Plague Marines, and a dabbling of Mocinos. Fair enough. I don't know anything about the Imperial Guard. My brain just goes, Imperial Guard sounds boring. You know, that just sounds boring to me. But when I don't have any details, I guess I don't know. Like, everyday soldiers feel boring to me. Regular Space Marines are cool. Don't get me wrong. They're literally genetically modified super soldiers. But compared to the what is it? Space wolves, where they literally have like wolf DNA in them or something. That's a little bit crazier. And then who is it? Is it the Raven something? Where they have some kind of blood flaw or something like that. They drink blood as part of their sanguinous. I don't know nearly enough. I was sent a Warhammer short story book that had a bunch of genuinely interesting short stories. The Warhammer grimdark, crazy future where mankind is on the precipice of destruction it's a pretty cool setting. It genuinely is. It genuinely is. Okay, Nathan, you mean later. Okay, all right. Tyranids are easy to get started because so many starter sets means units on eBay are dirt cheap. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. They have the Warhammer box sets where there's literally two different. It's like, yo, start playing Warhammer, and it has like Space Marines versus Tyranids. And they'll sometimes put like a unique unit in there, or just the price point of it gives you a much better deal on a bunch of units at once. So somebody who's into Space Marines will buy one of these starter kits. They're not starting. They already have a collection. They want the Space Marines from the box set. So they just want half of the armies that are in there. And the other half of the armies don't mean anything to them, so they sell them off, right? Every day? Yeah, see, I don't know what the Imperial Guard look like at all. At all. What up, Bob? You just made a $200 Amazon buy and you weren't a dink. Oh, thanks for using my link, buddy. Hell yeah. First time you've been able to catch a live stream once. This is the first time I've done a live stream in months. Ignore all the live streams that it shows on this channel. That's an illusion. They didn't happen. I haven't been here for months. Blood Angels. Well, who are the Ravens? Who are the guys who literally have like full-on stone church statues on their building? The Raven Guard, I feel like they are. Are they the ones who have jetpack jumpsuits and crazy claws? Rah, rah, rah. I don't know. I will expand. I'm going to obviously be expanding my knowledge of like Warhammer lore. I might start doing videos. on some of the Warhammer stuff. I got a whole page and a third of a page of notes that I started making about Plague Marines. So, I don't know, man. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I do know that I find it genuinely interesting, you know? Magic is obviously something that I know an insane amount about, but there's less and less to know as we go forwards, really. Like, in terms of the story and world building for Magic the Gathering, we're getting less and less of it. So I am a man who thirsts for the waters of lore, but I find myself in a desert, right? A place that was once lush and full of vegetation has turned into an arid desert where I'm like, water, the waters of lore, they must be fed to my brain. So I've started to look to other things to get that fix. And Warhammer is delivering some of that, for sure. For sure. You know, I was looking into Tyranids, like last month, I was looking at Tyranid stuff. And they're wild. They're just almost like space insects that you can't reason with, you can't argue with. They exist just to consume. So they just travel around finding planets and eating all life on those planets. They convert everything into biomass, which they then draw up into their interstellar living spaceships that manufacture troops. And they can genetically modify their troops on the fly based on the life forms they encounter on the planet. And they can literally eat the minds of their enemies and learn their skills and tactics. It's insane. It's insane. All Space Marines love Gothic architecture, but do they have them on their space vessels, is the question. Blood Ravens are thieves that steal other chapters' shit. All right. Blood Angels have a flaw that make them go mad. They are the blood dudes with jump packs and melee, but the Raven Guard have pale skin, genetic flaw, and the beak helmets and jump claws. Okay. So the Raven Guard are part of the Blood Angels chapter, is what we're saying? Vlockies, are we talking about Warhammer 40K? We sure are, buddy. You nailed it. So, a couple dead giveaways. Title of the stream, and then the stuff that we're talking about. But yeah, obviously you know what Warhammer is. So, jump on in, bro. Jump on into the convo, son. Yeah. Raven Guard is their own chapter. Okay. I feel like the Raven Guard are the ones that I've seen that have it's literally statues of dudes with swords and stuff. And I'm like, they have fucking buildings. They have what looks like temple buildings on the sides of gigantic fucking spaceships. That's wild. So yeah, it's the Warhammer lore feels really deep. It feels like there's a lot to delve into. And I mean, if I'm being fair, if you're new to Magic the Gathering and you don't know that much about it, there's a lot of old lore to delve into. But I have like experienced most of Magic the Gathering lore, you know? So there's not a lot left unexplored for me there. And because they're turning the tap off on it, it feels like how much new Magic lore are we going to get in 2025? We're going to get Magic lore from Aether Drift, Vroom Vroom Beep Beep. Magic lore from the Magic Space set. So what, is Tarkir the only thing that's going to have what feels like traditional Magic lore? We're going to have one set in the entire year that feels like it has Magic traditional lore, and the rest is going to be stuff a la Thunder Junction, Markov Manor, and Duskmourn, where it's all stapled together, you know? Have we gotten into Necron lore? No, we've mostly just been talking about the Plague Marines today. The Necrons are interesting. If I'm not mistaken, to try and save their civilization, they converted themselves into mechanical beings, and regular everyday people are almost like mindless robots, but the nobility or whatever maintained their sentience and have more power and resurrection orbs and stuff. And so the Necrons conquered a whole bunch of space, but then went dormant inside of planets. And sometimes they wake up and they come to the surface of the planet and are like, yo, this is our planet. Everybody on here dies. What are you doing on our property? And they're like, we gotta go back into space and take stuff over, right? I think. Most warp vessels in the Imperial Man have that gothic look? I don't know. Can't you technically do Spider-Man lore? Yeah, I could, but like, I don't feel like... it goes like this. If they're going to be talking about, if particular, like, let's say Marvel Magic cards or whatever, I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit about the characters that I'm talking about. But I'm not going to make, like, Magic the Gathering lore videos based on Universe Beyond properties, because it doesn't make any sense. If you want to hear Spider-Man lore, there's a million places to go for it. One of the reasons that I got into making Magic lore videos is because it's a tragically underserved demographic. You don't have many options to go to for Magic lore, and there are huge holes where you just can't find lore about a bunch of stuff. And so I felt like, yo, this is something that actually helps, okay? Because you can't just get this anywhere else. But if you want to know about Spider-Man and all this stuff, there's a million places you can go for all that. And I assume it's been covered quite thoroughly, since it's much larger than Magic. And that's what comic books are, stories. So people are interested in the stories and the backgrounds of the characters and stuff. Magic the Gathering is a game, so people can just ignore the other parts of it and just play the game and not care about the other stuff. So it's inherently a different beast, you know? If you want to fly one of those gothic ships, recruit a space wolf, bet a space elf, get that rogue trader RPG. That sounds cool. They wanted to transcend the weakness of mortal flesh. That's a cool concept. That's a cool concept, Lockies. Some 2025 will be easier on your wallet for Magic purchases, although you'll probably buy older sets instead. Perfectly reasonable. 90 fun 40K news. An unreleased limited edition compendium of books was found in a Goodwill bin in the UK last week, and it appears to be authentic. Okay. All right. Dark Angels and Sisters of Battle have individual models that look like Gothic churches on a flank thing. Dark Angels. That rings a bell. I was probably getting them confused with the Raven guys. But Dark Angel sounds like him. Vlockies, you'll be honest, with the amount of lore Warhammer has, you wouldn't mind Wizards made even more Universe Beyond Commander decks of that property. Fair enough. At this point, it's all Universes Beyond, so you may as well just hope for what you enjoy. I actually have the Necron deck. I actually have the Necron Commander deck. Dark Angels are green, Ravens are red and beige. It is Dark Angels. It is Dark Angels. They have like green fucking masks, right? Yep. Green masks. Is it green masks with like white hood cowl kind of things? And then their ships have buildings on them. That's it. Millmaster, you nailed it. You nailed it, buddy. Jess, you got a giant hot dog and a pop for $1.50 today. You are fucking killing it, bro. That is awesome. Costco memberships pay for themselves, cheapest meal possible. Yeah, when I had gone to Costco with people who had a membership, I remember seeing that and being like, that's so cheap. I have to get that. I love hot dogs. I love a fat, warm wiener in my mouth, right? And I will pay $1.50 to get it there, right? And then the drink also gives you something else to suck on. You get to suck on the straw. I like dicks, guys. That's what I'm saying. I like dicks in my mouth. Get the jokes? Get the jokes? It's about me sucking dicks. Do you understand the comedy? I said wiener, like weenus, you know? You get it? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Warhammer has a lot of lore, but it also has a lot of random codexes that aren't in print anymore. Well, that doesn't surprise me. They keep doing new editions, so that's like D&D and other things, right? Dark Angels partially fell during the Horus heresies and have to keep the Imperium off their back for being heretics and search out the fallen Dark Angels still out there. Oh, that's cool. Retire, you just tuned in. What the heck? You know what the heck, dude. Fat dicks in my mouth, bro. I'm living my best life. If I'm wondering, Warhammer 40K has 118 factions. The lore is Lord of the Rings level of depth. You think I'd love it? 18 factions or 118 factions? Because when you said 118, I'm like, that sounds like a lot. But there are like, what, 20 different... There's 20 different kind of Space Marines. Although one on the Chaos side and one on the Imperium side have both been redacted and don't exist, so that you can just be, that can be yours. You can just make up your own chapter and it can be the missing chapter on either side, right? Habanero, have I thought about doing lore dives on D&D modules? Absolutely. I thought about doing like lore on all kinds of different things about D&D. Magic items, magic spells, monsters, the actual adventures like Temple of Elemental Evil and all that stuff. But unfortunately, like I was saying in the stream before, maybe it was the last stream, I lost all that. All of my D&D books are gone. I don't have any of them. They all got lost in the move when a bunch of stuff went fucking missing. And I don't even know all the stuff that I lost. But I know every single one of my D&D books is gone. And I had a fucking stack of those old Dragon magazines that came with the maps and everything from decades ago. Like, I had so much cool stuff, and it's all gone now. It's all gone. So I'm like way more likely to do stuff like that if I have the physical books and can sit down with them rather than the digital stuff, right? So I don't know. I've thought about it, but I haven't taken any action on it, obviously. The only D&D lore that I've really done was talking about Xanathar because of the crossover with Magic, right? 90, the leader of the Fallen Dark Angels was just forgiven, like now? Is that new lore? Costco has fairly cheap chicken from what you remember, some pre-cooked. It's nice to just grab a chicken that's cooked and go, man. Mailmaster, didn't they wake up the lion? Oh, did that? You mean they like added in like another chapter or something? Curse of Strahd module. Hell yeah, Habanero. Strahd von Zarovich. The whole Ravenloft concept is wild, where it brings in these different like evil prominent figures and carves out territory for them, basically just appearing. So there's this border of mist that keeps this evil powerful lord like style individual trapped within their own realm that they lord over. And then you've got all of these little, essentially like little provinces that are butting up against each other. And every once in a while, a new one will coalesce with a new evil lord at its head. That's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Lion is the leader of the Dark Angels. Oh, okay. All right. Dragon, the lore's in the codex, so a lot of it's unknown to new players. Well, when they make a new codex, do they not keep the lore from the... Like, if they're just doing new versions of the same units kind of thing, or adding in more units, how do you end up losing that lore, right? Just getting cat litter and Millmaster getting meats at the Costco. There you go. I don't have a Costco membership. The Dark Angels world got destroyed, so they live on an asteroid that's a chunk of their old planet. And at the center, their chapter's primarch was in like an Arthurian slumber. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty funky, man. That is pretty fucking funky indeed. All right. Well, everything seems to be going the way I expected. Just popping in and looking over how it's going on the Historian. The newest video that I put out is not doing as well as some of my other recent videos, but it's to be expected because it's talking about secret layers. It's talking about Marvel stuff. So there tends to be less interest. It's like when I made the video on the Chucky secret layers and stuff. So yeah, I had fingers crossed that maybe there'd be a higher level of interest because of the hidden mystery nature of it. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Magic is in a state of flux right now, and things are a-changing. So, it's fine. It's fine. I'm still having fun playing the game, so I'm good from that regard. And I genuinely enjoyed myself today talking about Groot, so there's the possibility that I may still be able to enjoy myself despite all the universe beyond stuff that's flooding into Magic. But I will need to look elsewhere for more like actual genuine lore of things that I will enjoy, you know? Habanero, whatever direction I head in, you're stoked for whatever lore dives I've planned? Fuck yeah, buddy! Some you got a membership at Costco to get a deal on a new TV, and then oh, yeah, because the discount was good enough that you factor in the cost of the membership and you're still ahead, but then you just let it lapse because you don't need it anymore. That makes sense. That makes sense. Some memberships are worth having, some aren't. It's like the people at the bookstore, the chapter store, keep trying to convince Carly to buy a membership. And so she tells me the stats on the membership, like how much it costs and what it gives you. And I'm just like, are you going to buy $400 worth of books in a year? She's like, no. And I'm like, well, that's what it's going to take to just break even, you know? And she's like, oh, okay, then I won't get it. She's like, they're so persuasive at the store telling you all these benefits and stuff. But I'm like, when you boil down the numbers, that's what it's all about. How much is it going to cost me? How much is it going to save me? If it's going to save me more than the cost, it's a win. But if not, then you're just getting talked into a waste of money, right? They don't stay consistent between codexes since it's not always the same team. Fair enough. You know, D&D changes too. You go from 2nd edition to 3rd edition to 4th edition to 5th edition, where in the current era of D&D, it seems like they're not adding too much new stuff in. They're just hacking out anything that anybody in the current era might find objectionable. Extended warranties come in all shapes and sizes. Extended warranties tend to be a great way to waste your money, right? Habanero, you like listening to lore dives while you're at work because it makes for great background noise? I feel you, bro. I feel you. I enjoy stories very much. Like, I listened to a shitload of Fallout lore videos from that Oxhorn channel because he covered all kinds of different aspects of the game, and there is a lot of really involved quests and storylines with a lot going on. So, yeah, bro. Stories are the best. Lore is dope. will never be one of those people like the people like, I just play Magic. Who cares about Magic lore? And it's like, you're robbing yourself, bro. It adds so much. It adds so much. Millmaster, you want to see me make a wizard character in every version of Dungeons and Dragons? Surprise, surprise. I played wizards quite frequently, right? I also liked to make wizard fighters and give them like fun backgrounds. Like I had one guy who was a member. I probably made a version of this guy a few different times, but I had one guy where the idea was he was part of an order of dragon slayers, and a number of dragons teamed up and basically wiped out the entire order and destroyed their entire estate, their base, like everything. So this is just a level 1 fighter mage who is part of this order of dragon slayers, but he was sent off to do some menial bullshit while like all the actual dragon slayers and the stronghold and everything got wiped out. So the dragons came in, fucked it all up. He's the last one left. So he's got to become strong enough to even be able to slay or subdue a dragon, and then somehow rebuild the order and bring this bring a new generation of dragon slayers into existence to carry on the task, right? So, yeah, it's fun. I definitely have played a shitload of wizards. Magic is just so exciting. Like, I just playing a fighter who's got no magic to me most of the time, yeah. Although I've played like dwarven warriors and stuff like that too. I've played all the different classes, but wizards the most. Magic users the most. Clerics as well, because they have magic. You know, the more magic you have, the more likely I am to be drawn to it. What up, Blue Cats? All you heard is Jess has cats. Well, yes, he does. Habanero, you went hard on Cyberpunk and Elden Ring lore. Fair enough. I don't know about either of their lores, really. It'd be fun to see how the game evolved through the lens of character creation. That's a solid idea, Mealmaster. That's actually really solid. Vlockies, the problem with getting new people into Magic lore is eventually have to explain to them War of the Sparks and March of the Machine storyline. Well, you know what's sad? Is War of the Sparks and March of the Machine is better than anything we're going to get going forwards ever again. Think about that. It's like, I'd take War of the Spark or March of the Machine any day over Thunder Junction story or Markov Manor story, right? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. The days of magic, like genuine magic lore, are fucking dead. The most you can hope for in 2025 is 3 storylines. One will be about racing and cars. One will be about outer space. And one might be about actual magic. That's it. That's all the lore we're going to be getting. So, Fantasy Geographic has reached the point where it needs to undergo changes, I suppose. I might start like covering other kinds of lore, or I might just go back to like super old school lore. I do want to finish off the Thran storyline, you know? Hell again, Chug-a-lum! Vlockies, Lauren was an amazing storyline, and you're afraid what they'll do to the plane now? Yeah, actually, I was talking to a buddy of mine about that yesterday when I was at the game store. He was like, oh man, I'm bummed that they pushed Lorwyn back. I'm like, why are you in a rush to get to Lorwyn and find out what they've changed it into? It's not going to be the actual Lorwyn world that you knew. Like, why would they do any of that? It's going to be whatever property they want to try and ape right now is what they'll turn it into. It could easily be Lorwyn in outer space. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be the Smurfs. And then we just go to Lorwyn, and it's like, oh, there's all these blue guys and a guy named Gorgamorl. He's got a cat. Oh, yeah, and Father Smurl, the Smurls, these diminutive purplish blue guys. They've taken over Lorwyn, and but they're good people. They're our heroes, and they've got to watch out for Gorgamundo. And it's just like, okay, all right. Oh, there's one lady named Smorlette, and she is brave and strong, and tells Papa Smorl what to do. Millmaster, maybe cover the fantasies of different geographic locations. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't really have interest in covering like different parts of the actual Earth's mythologies or stories, really. Fantasy Geographic was called that because I wanted to do something along the lines of National Geographic, like animal, like, you know, when they talk about animals, I wanted to do like nature videos where they talk about an animal. Meet the fucking brown-dicked fox. It lives in trees, and you can hear it at night going, "Caw-caw, suck my brown dick!" And it sounds like a human. Many people have been fooled in the night by the howls of the tree dick wolves. And here's how they mate, like 6 at a time, and all this other shit. And I was just like, imagine that, but with like D&D monsters. And that was the initial, that's how that name came to be, right? Lorwyn Remastered, that'll happen some, but that would just be reprinting cards that already existed, so that wouldn't be a mucking up of the lore. Habanero, Elden Ring is wild. It revolves a lot around mad and selfish gods fighting over a dying world. That is a compelling premise, bro. Ape Papa Woody. Millmaster, the Squarks. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So yeah, I find myself at a crossroads currently where I haven't reached the point where I'm like, yo, I'm done with Magic, but I can't get the same things I used to get out of Magic the same way on some levels. I can still enjoy pulling apart cards for their mechanics and trying to figure out the flavor of the card and put all that together. But I don't get any more of the surrounding lore or world building in any satisfying way. Like Thunder Junction, where they just said, who cares? Hey, everybody wears cowboy hats. Why? Yeah, everybody also uses thunder blasters. Why? Everybody lives in wooden buildings. Why? Because we're doing a Wild West set. No. What's the underlying reasons that these 50 different legendary people from all these different planes have come here? Well, you see, we call it a theme set, and that just means we're going to have a lot of people there in it. Yeah, but you need to make actual reasons for why this happens on the world. No, we don't. Oh, well then this sucks. No, it doesn't. It's awesome. Wait, what? Wait, the world building sucked and we're not going to go back to this world based on our sales and stuff? Oh. Well, we didn't really try. Juglum, did I go out and play tonight? I did not, buddy. I did not. Yesterday was pre-release action. Today was working on the Groot video, working on my Grand Archive Ascent video, and also looking into the Plague Marines. Putting on some tunes and researching the Plague Marines. Should have had a gold rush. They're going to mine that unobtainium. Vibranium, so that it connects. Oh, look, Vibranium from Black Panther Wakanda Land is over here in Waka Waka Junction. And it's like, Waka Waka Junction? What the hell is that? Well, it's part Wakanda, part Wild West, and also fucking Fozzie Bear from the Muppets. Waka Waka Waka! So goofy. Millmaster, baking bread and cleaning up olive oil you spilled making bread. It's really easy to get oil everywhere and pretty annoying. I was seasoning some popcorn today and I got the whole tub that it's in oily as hell around the edges, which is pretty annoying, but way better than spilling oil everywhere. Jess, you do not think, therefore you do not am. Well, that definitely sounds like something somebody who doesn't think would say. Oh, my root beer is... The ice cubes have melted into it. I picked up some more root beer. I'm indulging myself. And now it's all diluted with water. So I got to decide, do I crack open another can or do I switch over to water? What do I do now? Hum diddly hum. I should probably go with water, but my gut is like, let's have some more sugary pop. It's really easy to shatter a ceramic oil container on a very smooth countertop. Oh, you broke the container too, bro? Jess, you poured like hot deep fryer oil on your feet? Yikes, bro. Yikes. You're lucky you were wearing shoes, man. That's some serious burnage there. Jonathan says, get a fresh one. It's the end of the week. Well, twist my rubber arm. All right, I will. Okay, I'll be back. Ah, fuck it. Intermission with the Don't Be a Dink. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Is Richard Garfield still a part of Magic? No. No, he sold it to Wizards of the Coast a million years ago. And I think the last time he was involved in anything, they got him to come back for like one of the Dominaria sets. And I think that was the last time he was in it. They make glasses you can chill in the freezer, and that way you don't have to dilute your root beer with ice. Yep, that's good. That's good. Habanero, you can't believe you sang this out loud in the hallway as you were walking over. It's forever now. Once you start singing out loud, it means it lives in your brain forever. Millmaster, this is the song you want to lose it to? This is the song I want to hear when I'm going insane. I am not a dink! I will link your head with this hammer. That's right, Dale. The long yawl. The longest yawl. So yeah, man, the Plague Marines are wild. What a wild concept. Warhammer's got some really dope lore. I got more room to explore other lore now that Wizards of the Coast has fucking shut the tap off on me. It's like, okay, all right. I have zero belief that the Aether Drift lore isn't going to be just mediocre as fuck. It's literally the story for the set that's supposed to be like Fast and Furious, you know? Vlockies, yep. There's tons of lore videos about Warhammer I can check out, and just tons. Honestly, I like reading the books and stuff. I like actually like reading source material and stuff. Videos are acceptable as well, but I do actually like reading the real thing. The message says, the final scene of the movie just pulls out from an insane asylum cell window with me banging my head into a padded wall yelling, "Don't be a dink!" Blue Cats have a sing-along. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sing along with the Amazon song. Oh, man. We've been watching a bunch of House. We're watching the first season of House. And I remember a couple of episodes. And I told Carly, there's one episode where there's this lady who's fat. She's got a big fat round belly and it's a gigantic tumor. And she doesn't want to get rid of it because she's like, my husband thinks I'm hot this way or something like that. And that episode came on today. I pointed at her when she came on the screen. I was like, that's it. She's going to have a big fat tumor in her. She's got a big fucking tumor in her. And then she did, but I didn't remember the part where she didn't want the tumor taken out because she was cheating on her husband and she liked that other guys liked her round tumor body. And then House was all like, don't worry, you can find dudes online who are into chicks with surgical scars, so you can still cheat on your husband. And then she's like, okay, I'll have the surgery. And I'm like, this is fucked, man. House is hilarious because everything always goes wrong with whatever patients they have. And like we were watching it today, and then they put this little fat girl in the MRI machine, and Carly's like, she's gonna start freaking out in the MRI machine, and she's gonna start spasming. And I went like this. I looked at my watch and I went, nope, she won't. There's not enough time left in this episode. That's how you know they've cured her. Because they'll try a whole bunch of things that go horrifically wrong, and then I'll be like, nope, time to wrap it up. They got a couple minutes left, so this is definitely going to cure her. Vlockies. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people tell me about Flesh and Blood. It does it have like actual magic in it? Or is it just a bunch of people fighting? Because I like fantastical elements to my stories, you know? So if it's just like regular fighting with no magic or powers, that's of no interest to me. Like none. And I have a hard time believing that new card games have actual deep lore as well. So It's like, oh, we got like a written little story on our website. I'm not really looking at lore for other card games currently to fill the gap because I want something deeper, you know? I don't know any of the other like new card games or whatever. I have no idea why like the live stream keeps crashing. Like I don't know what the problem is. It's not actually the live stream, but just like the loaded page. My stream stays going and you guys can see it fine. But the actual like what's showing me the live stream with your guys' response and everything, it'll just go to a white screen every once in a while. It's like this tab crashed. Why? Why? Gerthulu, you enjoyed House as a murder mystery? They're not murdering people, right? I mean, they kill the baby in that one episode, but like later seasons not as good. I've heard that. I've definitely heard that. I heard that it starts falling apart around season 5 or 6, but we're still in season 1, and I'm waiting for them to get to season 2 because I'm like, when do we get the Portishead music? Because I feel very strongly that House had the Portishead music as their intro song. And the first season, they have something that feels reminiscent of Portishead. Like they couldn't afford it or whatever. And then after the first season, they got a budget increase, so they got the Portishead song. But like, I was saying that to Carly, damn, like I can't wait until we get to season 2 because I'm hoping that we'll get like a blast of that Portishead at the beginning of each episode. And she's like, you've mentioned enough that I too am looking forward to it. Jess, you have magic powers or you can see through space-time. You most assuredly cannot. That is definitely not a thing. Juglum, you were watching Total Recall earlier and you bow your hat to the directive genius of the 3 boob chick, 3 titties. I wish I had 4 hands so I could give those titties 4 thumbs down. The milk's gone bad, Murphy. Millmaster, the lathe of heaven. Wait, I remember us talking about that, and I think the concept sounded interesting, but I can't remember a damn thing about it. I can't remember a single thing about it. I definitely haven't seen it. Vlockies, there is a magic element in Flesh and Blood? Okay, well that takes it up a notch. Thanks for the recommendation, bro. Teardrop by Massive Attack. Oh, is it Massive Attack? But isn't the singer from Portishead? Because yeah, that sounds right. Maybe I just assumed that it was the chick from Portishead. Because you're right, it is Massive Attack. Okay, my bad. I have been ignorant my entire life. Apparently about this. My bad. I thought that the singer from Portishead sang the Massive Attack stuff. All right, I learned something. Jess, remote viewing's over 75% accurate, with some viewers who were never in the place they were viewing. The military had special projects that were declassified. That absolutely happened, and I 100% believe you. Kenzuki says, mine! All right, bro, you're the new lord of the board. You have claimed it. Gerthu, you meant a detective show formula, but as a medical show. Okay, that makes more sense. There you go, Kenzuki, new lord of the board! It's crazy, man. It's forever. I just thought, like, I kept saying that it's the Portishead song, but it's not a Portishead song. It is Massive Attack. But I totally thought it was the Portishead chick singing with Massive Attack. My world has been thrown into chaos. Oh, speaking of chaos, Vlocky says mine, and I want the board. All right. Kenzuki popping out of the weeds to snag the board, and then Vlocky's is like, no, I want that, and runs off. He runs off into the reeds with it. Give me that. Give me that shit. All right, Vlockies, you are lord of the board. Both Portishead and Massive Attack are from Bristol, England. Oh, all right. Jess, one remote viewer from a shutdown project used it to win the lottery over 6 times in a row. It's crazy that happened, and I absolutely believe it, 100%. I will take that as a fact because that sounds incredibly believable to me, and I'm not skeptical of it at all. Of course, remote viewing is real, and it works 75% of the time, and you can use it to win the lottery 6 times. Absolutely. That lines up with reality perfectly. I do not contest these very clear facts, and I trust your research and capability to discern reality from falsehood. So thanks for letting me know about this absolutely true thing that totally happened. My mind is blown. I can't even fucking believe it. This is what? This is even crazier than finding out that the singer from Portishead didn't sing Teardrop Bro. They're almost on the same level, but that is crazier. That is crazier. Gerthulu, that's true. A lot of TCGs that are coming out are already based on pre-existing products, so they have a ton of lore already. Millmaster says what they don't tell you is that 25% of the time it doesn't work, you die. Holy fucking shit. So you got a 75% chance of winning the lottery 6 times and a 25% chance of dying. That sounds like good odds, man. You'd be crazy not to do it. You'd be foolish not to do it. I say we all fucking install TeamViewer on our computer and use it to do remote viewing like stuff to help Microsoft tech support and then win the lottery 6 times and not die. That's what I say. I say that's how we handle it. You guys with me? Are you with me? Is remote viewing where you stare at your TV remote until it tells you the lottery numbers? Answer me! What are the lotto numbers? 14? Okay. 7. Whoa. 42. I don't know. These sounds like death numbers. Whoa. 16? Oh, 13. Oh, no. 27. Oh, I'm viewing my remote. Jess, it's real. It was on the internet. Well, actually, you've got a great point because, like, it can't be on the internet if it's not true. People aren't allowed to say things that aren't true. People physically can't type things that aren't true. Everything on the internet is true. Like, all of the SCPs and stuff absolutely happened. Slenderman is a fucking real thing too, right? Like, it's crazy. It's nutty to me, but like, that's how it is. Pokeroo is real. Kermit the Frog is like a real person and not a puppet. Kensuke, you're playing those? How fucking wild would it be if I just said like random numbers like that and you played it and you actually fucking won? It'd be like, what the fuck? I'd just be like, no, this is all a simulation. What up, Hude? Millmaster, you don't use math, you use maths? Okay. All right, you pretentious British dickhead. Gianna, you're not going to lie. Foundation's pre-release is the best pre-release you've ever done. I got news for you. You're typing on the internet. You can't lie on the internet. So even if you said I was going to lie, that like you can't. It's not possible. Anything on the internet is true. It's been established. Larry, I'm in your base killing your dudes. All your base belong to us, dude. Technically, he was viewing you remotely when you rattled off those numbers. 75% chance of winning the lottery with those numbers 6 times. 25% chance of dying. The sky is falling. Oh, I'm glad I'm inside. I'm glad I'm inside. But Gianna, I'm with you. The Foundations pre-release was a good time. I actually really like Foundations. It's got a good vibe. I'll admit it also makes me a little melancholy. I'm a little melancholy when I think about the fact that like Foundations is like, hey, this feels more like what you're used to with Magic the Gathering. And then we're going to go into like Tokyo Butt Drift, where it's like, oh, who can make the biggest fucking skid mark? You gotta rub your asshole on the asphalt. That's why it's called that. And whoever can drift their butthole the fucking hardest against the ground, they win. They win. But make sure if you're a dude, make sure you lift up your fucking ball bag so you don't actually get your ball meat trapped in your Tokyo Drift. There's a woman in Texas that won 4 different multi-million lotteries. On top of that, she has a PhD in probability theory. She probably has a fucking time machine or dimensional travel of some sort. Jess, I know about entanglement and quantum physics. Of course I know about quantum entanglement. It opens micro portals you can see to any place in the universe. Totally. Absolutely. Like all the time, bro. That sometimes happen to me when I'm like taking a leak, bro. I'll just kind of fucking stare off into space, and then you can see those little things floating in front of your eyes, and I'm like, shit, bro, that's fucking micro portals to another dimension. Other people try and tell you that you're just seeing your own blood vessels, but that's bullshit. It's totally like once when I'm holding my dick, I can see through fucking micro portals into other universes and other places. 100%. One time when I was taking a leak, I fucking unfocused my brain so much that at the same time I was taking a leak, I could see my mom giving birth to me. Like, it was remote viewing through time and space. Another time I saw my mom taking a dump. That one wasn't as good, but at least it was also less disturbing than seeing myself being born. But it's crazy how that works, man. It's crazy. I was very quantum entangled, you know? Bet they're going to have an artifact to make regular creatures into walkers. Like Paul Walker? Is that what you mean? Like, are they going to make them... Are they going to make the creatures crash their cars? Is that what we're talking about? Do I think they'll release additional collector boxes? Wizards has said that they won't. And we all know that Wizards always sticks to their word and never changes what they're saying. They never lie to us. They never trick us. So if they say they're never going to print those collector boxes again, they're never going to print the collector boxes again, right? Like, they told us that they wanted the Magic IP to be the Magic IP, and that's why they wouldn't bring in outside things. And they never did. And they told us that, like, Universes Beyond was just this extra bonus thing they're doing that had nothing to do with Standard. And then they never, ever put it into Standard, right? And they told us that they were going to print all the Universe Beyond stuff as Universe Within stuff. And they didn't go back on that. So it makes sense to me that when they say something, they always mean it and nothing ever changes. And you should take whatever they say as gospel, right? I've remotely viewed the future, and they never break their word, ever. Ever. Collins, you leave to get a coffee, and we're talking about 40K lore. We'll come back, we're talking about actual fantasy science. I watched you get that coffee, bro. I went to the washroom and quantum entangled your existence. I was staring at my bathroom wall, but I could see you getting that coffee. And you put too much sugar in it, dickhead. If they make universes within of the One Ring, they're not going to make universes within of the One Ring. The One Ring will show up in some other random ass property, bro. That's how it's going to go. That's right, Cthulhu. The Wizards would never lie to us, the fans and players. We mean a lot to them. We're not just like walking wallets. They care about us, and they value and respect us. They definitely don't see us as marks and chumps, you know? Hugh, I didn't know what you meant, bro. We're talking about Fast and Furious, and if you say Walker, go up to anybody and say Fast and Furious, and then say the word Walker. And you think that they're going to go, oh, Planeswalkers. No, man, this is the new reality. This is the new reality. The One Ring will be the one spare tire. It'll be like they'll do a Pulp Fiction set and it'll be the One Ring that's on like get the Gimp. They'll be like get the Gimp, and then when the Gimp comes out, search for a cock ring, and that's the One Ring, you know? If the One Ring gets banned, can we call it the Nun Ring? Yes. But people will think that you're talking about Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act, just so you know. That's the risky run. And it's going to get very confusing when we actually get the Sister Act 2 Universe Beyond set. Because that's in the works, if you guys didn't hear. They're actually doing Sister Act, like Magic the Gathering crossover, where they're putting QR codes on the Magic cards. And if you scan them, it shows you clips of Whoopi Goldberg naked, but like in the current era, like the aged Whoopi Goldberg, you see her with like nothing on and her 90-year-old body. And the software can detect if you're not getting turned on by it, and you get reported to the police as a hate crime if you don't get aroused. That's what's gonna happen. That's 2026 for Magic the Gathering. Officer, arrest him. He didn't get hard or Whoopi Goldberg. We're wearing nothing. It's a hate crime. Arrest him, officer. Yeah, she's got dreadlocks everywhere, Millmaster. Oh my god. Not on purpose. It's just when you let the hair grow and get ratty enough, it naturally forms into dreadlocks. She's putting the dread in dreadlocks. Universes Beyond 2 back in the habit. That's it. It's a cleric heavy set. See, you guys get it. You guys get it. Imagine they make the Matrix Universe Beyond. Yeah, of course, man. Whoa. I know Kung Fu. There's your spell, bro. There's your spell. Judge Dreadseeker there. I am the law. And then a counter spell that goes. Oh, man. Oh, God. What a universe, man. Ape the well-done roast beef. Good Lord. Jesus Christ. Oh, Judge Harry Anderson. I summon Bull. His creature type is human bull. Just go watch Being John Malkovich, bro. There you go. You want fucking remote viewing and taking over somebody else? Go watch Being John Malkovich. Majir, Pokemon Universe Beyond? That's not going to happen. Pokemon's not going to let fucking Wizards make Pokemon cards, so I don't think we'll ever get there. Larry, your promo foil was Genesis Wave at your pre-release? Better than mine. I got Brass's Bounty. Wop, 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 pow. Who cares, right? Very underwhelming. But I did get that fucking huge Eldrazi. How about that, a Being John Malkovich UB set? That's so niche. That's so niche. I really like Malkovich as an actor, honestly. In everything except... the hell's the name of that? Johnny English or whatever? The Rowan Atkinson James Bond parody stuff. Listening to Malkovich talk in that French accent, I was just like, yo, I want to take fucking ice picks and jam them in my ears right now, bro. Foundation starter sets like Monopoly. The Monopoly Man! There are some Pokemon looking alt arts already. Yeah, look at stuff like Loot. He looks like a Pokemon. That's right, Vlockies. A million years ago, Wizards of the Coast was actually making the Pokemon cards, but they had a big fallout. Simpsons Foundation set? Maybe. Malkovich was, yeah, he was good in Con Air. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man. Oh. What did we watch last night? Oh, yeah, we watched The Hunt, a movie that my buddy told me to check out, which was interesting at first, but then really fell off. It really fell off. Cthulhu Wizards making Pokemon cards is why they're standard size over the smaller size most card games they have over there. Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm so used to Magic cards that I don't really think about it, but different card games do have different sized cards, right? I can't see myself ever loving another card game as much as I've loved Magic. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how 2025 is going to go for the game, but also for me as a long-term Magic player, you know? You watched a weird movie called Tideland, directed by Terry Gilliam. What's it about? What is Tideland about? Is it a world of laundry detergents? Cards too big for sleeves are dumb. Well, Jess, you'd be surprised at how many different sized sleeves there are out there. If you go and look, like, for all the different board games and all, you can find super little tiny sleeves, all kinds of ranges. All these different European board games have different size sleeves and like different size cards, and people get sleeves for them. Vlockies, yeah, I got no interest in looking at fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Why do I think Magic was so successful? Because it was like the first of its kind. It has really solid gameplay. It had interesting flavor. It adds in the whole collectability aspect. You also get the randomized, oh, what goodness did I get in the booster packs? Like, it was lightning in a bottle. Magic the Gathering spawned the entire genre of TCGs. Every single trading card game that you play owes its existence to Magic the Gathering. It was the first, right? So, did they do it perfectly? No, but they did it amazingly well. And so, yeah, it birthed the entire genre. Colin says, Japanese size is smaller because it's an island and they have to save space. I thought it was because on average they're shorter than us, so they have smaller hands, right? When you have gigantic, manly, skull-crushing hands like me, those cards are going to be so tiny and dainty, right? It's the story of a young girl and it tries to show things from her perspective while messed up stuff happens around her, and Jeff Bridges in it. That is a very underwhelming description that tells me nothing. There's a girl in it, and the movie tries to tell stuff from her perspective, and messed up things happen. That is like, why do you may as well have just said stuff happens and people are in the movie, bro. It's like that close to that. The fuck does that do for me? That is not an exciting description. Oh, man. Spurl, I jinxed it. You got loot. Well, you got jinxed. I didn't pull loot. I did have to play against loot, but I didn't pull one. I was saved. I didn't pull loot or loot on a land. I got no loots in any form, but I did get the big fat 7/7 Eldrazi of Doom Smashery. Bam, bam, bam. Pretty fucking dope. Pretty dope. So, my friends, thanks for coming and hanging out and chatting with me, mostly about Warhammer and other things, and obviously still some about Magic, because can't really fucking help myself, right? Anyways, enjoy the rest of your days. If you didn't already go and watch the video that I put out today over on the Historian, go check that shit out. And, since the movie channel was asked about, the new video's in the works. Carly was actually editing it when I was out there getting my drink, so soonish. All right, have a good one, guys.